Bam. Good morning.
Good morning, gamers.
What's up, gamers? Good morning, gamers. Love saying that. Love saying that. How is everybody doing? Very excited for the quarterfinals today, Nerdy. How are you feeling? Is it
Oh,
early,
great,
like
man.
always?
Great. Fantastic. I'm excited to be here, we got a lot of good matches today. I am particularly excited actually for this first match, Feinberg.
Why is that,
But
Nerdy? Why would you say
because
you're
we are
excited?
getting a rematch of last season's final being
That
Griffin and
would be a
Hacks.
good reason to get excited. We've never seen that before. Never seen a finals caliber rematch, and not only is it a finals caliber rematch, it's the previous season's finals. So you could argue the two players that are most expected to win this bracket, one of them is going to be going home with nothing. One of them is going to be almost securing a spot in the top three, potentially winning the entire bracket. Going to be very, very interesting stuff. These are our matches for today. Starting with Priffin versus Hacks. Again, last weekend, very interesting. We had one upset going on to each match. So it's still like a mismatch bracket in a sense, you know? Like obviously, okay, if Manji upsets Dougal, is Manji really the 16 seed still? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, yes, but I don't know. But this is our bracket. We have Priffin versus Hacks coming up first. Manji versus Engelboy is going to be second. Loki versus Danny is going to be third. And we're going to end the day with V-Strid versus Automat. Back to back to back to back. So basically top down, except you just flip the top two. But yeah, and then tomorrow we finish out the rest of the bracket. And if the runners make it to the top four, there's a 75% chance that they get to cash home part of the prize pool. And they will all get to play in two best of fives, maybe even a best of seven tomorrow. So very exciting stuff. Sort of the last like do or die day, you know, where you move on to tomorrow. It's like every day feels harder as it keeps going. I don't really know what I'm saying, but yeah, you know what I mean, Nerdy.
I do know what you mean. And
Glad to hear that.
I'm just excited to be here. I think we're gonna have some good Minecraft today, and I hope Chad is having a good day with all their little emotes. You know,
Yes, yes. I know you went to bed early, Nerdy, more
I
than
did,
usual for
I
this.
did.
Nerdy
Yes.
joined call at like 9 p.m. for him, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm in bed. Feinberg made me and do this." And I was like,
Yep, that's true.
"Not my
That's
fault."
true. Guys, this is the only exception to West Coast not being the best coast is having to wake up for ranked playoffs early. That's the only exception.
Or just like events in general, but ranked playoffs is earlier than usual. But yes, one of the only downsides of the U.S. West Coast, I would say.
Yes,
But
yes.
anyways, chat, before we get into our game one, we have a very special group interview for you guys with a few of the runners you'll be seeing today. So let's throw it into that, see what some of our contestants, some of our competitors have to say, have to let us know how they're feeling about today. We'll throw it over to that, and we'll catch you guys back here in a second.
Hello, I'm Automat. In this season, I focused on getting more ranked games played.
I am Big Monkey, and something that I did since the last playoffs to improve is that I bought a PC.
Something I've been working a lot on since playoffs last season has mainly been nav.
Even though it still was about 170 total games, it's still the lowest number of games played between all of the 16 playoffs players.
Everything is slightly easier and slightly more consistent with 8 times the FPS, and you're saving like 10 seconds for free off of load times.
I struggled a lot with nav in both regular season and in playoffs last season. I think good examples of that in last season were during my match against V-Strid, where I entered the stronghold at like 5-3x or something, but just couldn't find the portal room.
I can say that I've learned some useful strats and nice time save in pretty much all speedrun splits.
I can't even give like an actually skill-based answer because I just suck at the game. Only reason I've made it this far in the bracket is because I'm worse than Dougal at Zero Cycle. I don't choke the Zero Cycle because I don't even get to do the Zero Cycle. I just bail earlier than he does.
Another thing has been drag click. I've been messing around with that just for mechanical skill and like consistency when it comes to bow clutching, and drag click is a part of like building towards more mechanical consistency.
Better managing my time and resources and energy to focus on the game was the biggest improvement I've made in the season 4 of Ranked.
I think that's all I have to say. Big Monkey out. Bye!
big monkey out, bro. What an absolute gangster answer. What a gangster set of answers. And yeah, I mean, getting a PC, upgrading from a laptop is huge. I mean, I was a laptop gamer years ago. I feel like most people start on a laptop, you know, at some point. Like having the first gaming device be a PC is interesting, and yeah, hardware doesn't matter as much in ranked, obviously, as it does in runs, you know, because you're not really resetting. But he is right. Like you'd watch the ranked matches with Manji in it, and like if the Bastion was like 12, 14 chunks away, he would just have to pause in the Nether for like longer than the other person. And even with like the auto load stuff, just like loading the overworld or like pausing for pearling and stuff, like it would all just slowly add up, even though runners are playing on the same seed and it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nice, and I think he should give himself a little more credit for keeping the matches with Dougal very close, forcing Dougal to go for some rough zeros that didn't work out. But I mean, he didn't choke the zero. It is true. Like there's some truth in what he said. He wasn't fully lying.
He did good. He did good. He's here now, and that's at the end of the day. That's what matters. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. Made it to day 2, and everyone here looking to make it to day 3. Let's take a look at Priffin and Hacking Noise's player cards. Again, our 2 finals participants of last season, basically even in the season 4 regular season, Nerdy. 4 and 5. I mean, we've seen this didn't really matter. What Dougal was 8-0 against Manji, and Manji won 2 to move on to today. But I mean, 65% win rate, ranked average time. That's what I really look at. I feel like ranked average time is so
Yeah.
like
no, I hear that.
crucial because what's the sample size here? Like, okay, so you have 300 wins. How many of those are the other person forfeiting? People don't really forfeit in high elo. Like, I think I remember Silver telling me about this, that a few of the top runners he talked to or whatever try to implement the no forfeit strategy, because like sure you can forfeit if you make a mistake, but if you're assuming that the other person you're playing against is consistent, you're gonna like lose anyways. So might as well, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna save like 3 or 4 minutes on your life versus potentially them messing up. Like it's always basically worth it not forfeit. So I'm looking at some stats website right here. This is just for season 5, so there isn't an insane amount of matches, but it looks like low key has a 0.6% forfeit rate, so it may be like only a handful. Dougal has a 0.0% forfeit rate. Hinart's got a 0%. Vstrid's got a 0.3. Okay, Hacking Noise is at 12%. Where's Priffin? Let me find Priffin. Hacking Noise at 12%. Priffin's at 0, but Priffin's only played 6 games this season, so yeah, a lot of people. Obviously, you can't forfeit in the playoffs, so it is what it is. But I guess Hacks maybe was doing that last season, not this season, or maybe I don't know. But I know a lot of people have tried to think about it like that, you know, just to build more consistency as well, because you could be in a situation where you make a mistake and it matters that you have to come back because your opponent's going to make a similar or bigger mistake, you know. But it is hard to dodge that tilt cue sometimes. You make a bad mistake, you want to just forfeit and get right into the next game, but you can't do that in the playoffs. So very similar player cards here, Nerdy. What sticks out to you? I mean, a little bit faster ranked average time.
I see. You say similar. I say different, because we see
How's that?
20 seconds. We see 20 seconds, 30 seconds faster on the ranked average time.
Sure.
A faster ranked best time.
Sure.
A slower RSG, and a notably lower win rate by 5%. So to me, what this suggests is that Hacking Noises is got kind of, you know, when he's on, he seems like maybe he's going faster, but is less consistent overall. And at the end of the day, consistency is so important that, you know, that's definitely going to be important for Priffin. That's going to be his advantage here. So I feel like the question is going to be, is Hacking Noises going to be consistent? Because I feel like we know Priffin will be.
Yeah, and I mean, Priffin won the entire last season, so if there's anybody that's the most consistent right now, it would be Priffin. If you're just looking at the playoffs results, right, in the bracket when it matters most, it's going to be Priffin. So, I mean, let's throw over the seed selection, I think. We've stalled the runners enough. Get into what they're thinking. As a reminder, if you're new to the best of 5 format, if you're new to playoffs as a whole, the way this works is there are 5 overworld types, 2 ocean-based, BT and shipwreck, 2 3 overworld-based, I guess. There's Village and Desert Temple, and then Rune Portal's kind of the wild card one there in the middle. And that determines how you play the overworld, how you're getting your iron, how you're getting your food, how you're getting into the nether. Different decisions happen on all 5 different overworlds. Runners are better at certain ones, worse at certain ones. You kind of know, maybe watching your opponent, what they're going to be better at, you know, how you're playing, what you're the worst at, things like that. And the way that these pick ban works is both players can ban one overworld type that can't be played up until seed 4, until all of them are played. So Hacks banning Buried Treasure. We've seen that a lot. We saw it a lot last weekend. Seeing it again in our first game today. Priffin's going to ban Rune Portal. So for the first 3 seeds, Nerdy, we're going to have to pick between Desert Temple, Shipwreck, and Village. And if somebody 3-0s, that's it. But if we get to a game 4, they're going to be able to pick from any of those seeds again. It's going to sort of refresh the pool of overworld seeds, if that makes sense. So we could see 2 of an overworld type if they want to pick something that was played in the first 3, or we could see somebody pick maybe what the other player banned, maybe pick what they banned if they're feeling wacky about it, you know. If we get to the game 4, we'll have to wait and see, but that's how overworld pick ban works. And now that I've explained that, Nerdy, what do you think about Priffin and Hack's decisions here? What sticks out to you? Nerdy's Discord crashed. We still haven't fixed that issue. He's gonna go to Chrome. Guys, pretend I'm Nerdy. I think it's interesting
Hello?
that we ban. Do Discord crash again? Are you good?
I almost got it back in time to answer your question, but I did hear your question.
Okay,
To
that's
answer
good.
your
Are you?
question,
All right, go
this
for
is
it.
shocking to me. This is shocking to me. Like, actually,
Why is it shocking?
banning BT and Ruin Portal, the 2 fast things. The amount that has changed since season 1 is crazy. I am completely shocked. I'm just completely shocked. I don't know how else to describe this.
I think it might be Nerdy. Is maybe my hot take. Is yes, I think that there could be a lot of like meta picks, right? Like you're depending on who you're playing against, you pick one thing or you ban the other thing, whatever like that. But I think the overall trend has been pushed towards trying to get an edge over your opponent in some way. And if you're playing a Rune Portal seed, I don't think you can separate yourself in decision making at all in the overworld. But if you think you're the best player, why not pick Desert Temple, right? It gives them more of an opportunity to make a mistake, right? And if they play it perfectly and you play it perfectly, it's the same thing, right? Like, who cares? But it gives you that opportunity to separate yourself. But at the same time, it gives the other player the opportunity to separate themselves from you as well if you make a mistake or miss something in the seed, because obviously a lot of the RNG in ranked things like that is very controlled, but there is some stuff that is just random. Like if Priffin does a lower TNT here and Hacks does a higher TNT, like if they make random decisions, maybe Gravel gets exposed for Priffin and not for Hacks, or even there's just like explosion RNG. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
well,
and maybe
yeah.
Maybe Hacks gets Gravel out of the bottom here that blew up into Flint and Priffin doesn't. Like there is still just a lot of random stuff, and it gives more variance. And that's maybe my theory as to why players have been opting away from BT, potentially away from Rune Portal on more of these decision-making overworlds. I'm not sure.
I guess it makes sense. And you know, if I don't know, if Hacks, you know, is more less familiar with the BTs from RSG or something like that, then I definitely understand it. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong necessarily. It's not what I'm trying to get at here. I'm not judging these players, I guess. It's more that it's just, to me as a spectator,
Very
here,
shocking.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's a notable difference than other seasons. And so,
yeah, I mean, it feels like it's almost just fully flipped from how it was in like season 1
right,
and 2.
Exactly.
Even season 3, it feels like just completely swapped what we're banning, what we're picking, things like that. Like, I feel like we saw BT in every seed, season 1, every seed, season 2.
100%. I feel like we barely seen it in this.
Like
season.
Desert Temple was almost fully banned. It was just crazy stuff. And I think in season 3, even like we ran out of Rune Portal seeds because they were picked in every single bracket, and like one of them crashed, and so we just genuinely ran out of seeds and needed to just get one. So it was crazy. But talking all about this variance and these runners in the nether, literally like almost on the same frame. So much for picking Desert Temple. Turns out it doesn't really matter at all. Should have very, very similar food counts for both players as well. And food's going to very much matter in this seed. Insane treasure fashion.
Yeah. It looks like Hax is maybe a little bit ahead here. It's a little bit hard to tell with the
Yeah,
stream
I think
delay
he
sometimes,
gained like a second. And maybe
and
losing it all here, but
Yeah, I
clutched
think
it
it lost
out.
all the
Had
time
some
there.
gold on the hotbar, which was good. Obviously, it's just these mini back and forths going to be behind here a little bit, and the food situation gets a little worse, but it should be fine. It was a good clutch. Getting this treasure route going. Priffin as well, going to the left, and it's interesting. He notices, and he's dead. Skeleton.
Priffin's dead.
Wow. Has to fully reset, not even going to run back. That's just 3 minutes. It might already be over. I missed fully kind of what happened at the start, but he was bringing the pigs over to the left, which in theory should be a safer treasure route. I know that's been some like developments, right? And you know, default T-Wags, boomer treasure, I should say, or default boomer treasure, not T-Wags optimization, is you kind of just throw the gold up and hope the piglins see it. And some people, you know, like the piglins are sometimes stupid, or they get stuck, or things happen. And so this optimization recently that a decent amount of people do is trying to just put a couple more blocks in the way, make the piglins take a little like longer path. So they're trying to just get in your way less. So you're not relying on that RNG of dropping the blocks. But for some reason, I missed the first part of that route. Priffin headed up to this left triple on 4 hearts, and so it's not like ideal, especially for doing the safer route, getting hit, you know, 2 or 3 times. And then it was actually the left side of this treasure generated in such a way that the piglins could wander up to the top. So Priffin had a piglin wander up to the top that hit him once, and then a skeleton that finished it off. And I mean, definitely partially unlucky, right? Having a skeleton up there as well as a piglin, as well as it just, you know, being a situation where you're not actually safe at the top of treasure like you'd think you are.
Right.
Definitely a bit unlucky there, but I wasn't really fully watching. Something definitely to be said about being on 4 hearts after the safer Bastion route. Something that Fulham will for sure cover for us in the mid-match analysis. But as I'm yapping out the Bastion, Hack's getting some crazy straights here in the fort, and again, has basically just a raw 3-minute lead at this point from Priffin fully resetting the world, so it's Hack's game fully to lose at this point. And he will know that he's fully ahead in about a minute or two when he sees that Priffin just has not entered the fort. Maybe he thinks he's barely ahead. Still scary as well, right? Could just have someone get better strays than the other person, but
Totally.
Hax will know very soon that he is very clearly in the lead. As Priffin makes his way back. See if he can redeem his treasure routing. Hax getting a little low, but should be fine. There's a gap as well. I think the food is still very good quality for Hax. Pretty sure he's still got a few steak as well, so should be good. I said I was going to watch Priffin redeem himself on the treasure, and I wasn't paying attention at all. I just started watching Hax, looked away. It is what it is. Nerdy, that's actually a good question posed in chat. Something we could talk about potentially. Do you think it's right for Priffin to fully reset there and take the 3-minute time loss, or do you think he should try to run back to the Bastion and get his stuff?
It's one of those things where, like, from a game theory perspective, I feel like you can very easily make the right decision and get a bad result from it, if that makes sense. So I feel like you can very easily you take the risk of going back. Maybe you weren't sure if it fell in lava, it was a little unclear, you didn't see which items went in lava, something like that. And there's,
Sure.
you get punished and you get unlucky, but it wasn't necessarily the wrong play to go for. I don't know. I feel like it depends on how much. There's a lot of factors that come into play, like how far behind you are, how risky your stuff was. I feel like in that specific case, I don't know. I feel like it could have gone either way. I feel like that was. I didn't exactly. For me, it's kind of hard to tell because I feel like I think I was watching Hax when Priffin died,
Yeah.
but it definitely seemed like there was a pretty big risk of losing this stuff. So I don't know. I think it could have. you could have gone for the rest, but it also was like only 2 minutes in, you know, so it's not necessarily. I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
Definitely unclear in the Bastion as well. Like, where do you die? Can you like get through the trades? But I think, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters. Like, unless he gets back to stuff within a minute, right? And you have no tools, you have no food, no blocks, right? So it's definitely hard to get back to that treasure. But I think all his pigs were in the trading hole, right? He died to a skeleton at the top, and everything else was kind of handled. And I think all of his stuff was kind of chilling. So, I mean, again, not sure how much it really matters as Hax is digging down the cords. Priffin just about to hit the fort here. Doesn't even have 20 obsidian. Fully Hax's game to lose, and basically would need to choke 0 or completely whiff the snap for like multiple minutes. And we've seen both happen in playoffs, but he gets a good spike there at top right. So should be pretty clear where we're headed. Just have to figure out how to get there through the stronghold, maybe mid. Right, looking like it. Little ugly, but trying to play for some light level stuff. That's a backwards door, very wacky. Gonna rescan here. I think he will find it eventually. But at the end of the day, he's almost got time to just fully explore the entire stronghold. If he needs to. But hopefully we'll get to this portal room soon. Hax did talk about Stronghold enough in his interview, and I mean, he does find it. Definitely not insanely fast, but does get there. And is on sub 10 pace, Nerdy. If he hits the
Wow.
0.
On a desert temple is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, crazy treasure fashion, I guess, but played it well for sure. Pretty easy front tower. Should really go to 95 here with an extension. There it is. Through the clip, gets there for sure. And it doesn't fly. He's got 7 beds. Should be pretty free sub 10. Pretty free first seed for Hax. Is he going to 5 bed? Oh, messes up that 5th bed there.
Oh,
Should
no.
still be fine. Dragon doesn't break the bed. Got a little dicey there, messing up that last bed, but clutches the sub 10. Again, had so much time. Even if he messes that up and doesn't die, definitely has time to like full bow. Priffin on Rotten Flesh at the spawner with Tanabe, and that's seed 1 for Hax, Nerdy. I mean, just didn't die. That was it. Yeah, I mean, it was very close at the start. Like if we throw it over the splits, I think these runners entered the Nether at the same time, enter the Bastion basically at the same time. But Priffin just unfortunately dying, and when both runners are playing near perfect, just making a mistake like that for just 4 minutes. Yep, that's all it is. Not much else to really say there. Yeah.
Plus 0-0 for both first splits. I mean, they were totally on pace with each other. That was.
But the pace did change, Nerdy.
Yeah.
Hax did make up a fraction of a second in between entering the Nether and the Bastion. We don't see the milliseconds there, but
true.
they did
That's a good
flip
point.
colors.
That's a
But
very good
yeah,
point.
I mean, if you're Priffin, it's a best of 5. You have time, right? Last week, best of 3, maybe is scarier. Have to win 2 seeds in a row. Now you have a little bit of a buffer, right? You can lose 1 more seed, and if you can lock in enough, you know, I mean, we saw Priffin. I feel like Hax maybe won the first seed or 2 in the finals. I know it was a 4-2 overall, but I mean, you get that buffer. So Priffin can fully run it back still, but he's got to start doing that. You know, going down 2-0, not a good look. So we'll see what Priffin picks here. I think it's between Village and Shipwreck. And it's Village. And you want to get that mental momentum. I feel like it's more important in the best of 5 potentially than it is the best of 3. Because if you get to that seed 4, you get to that seed 5. You get to pick those extra seeds. And I guess another thing too as well, right? Like if Priffin wins this seed and then Hax wins the next one, Priffin gets to pick the 4th seed. But if you flip that, Priffin loses seed 2, wins seed 3, then Hax gets to pick seed 4, up 2-1, you know? So you almost, like it's almost the best seed to lose, if you're going to lose one, is seed 3, because you get to pick seed 4 when all of the overworld types are back in the seed pool, and then you can pick potentially what your opponent banned. You can pick what you won on, in seed 1 or seed 2 or potentially. So it is what it is. We get to play a village, and at the end of the day, if these runners are going to be completely even in the overworld, you just gotta play better in the nether, play better in the end. Maybe it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I hope to see more consistency from Priffin. And maybe that was just a warm up. You know what I mean? And I feel like that happens. His first match of the day, pretty normal. I feel. I think Priffin just needs to hopefully be able to focus up, lock in, and prove why he was the winner last season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, I think he can do that, but it very easily could be a warm up. Me personally, I do that strat where sometimes I would wake up like 5 to 10 minutes before a tourney or before an event or something, and so maybe Priffin did that. Maybe Priffin's been live for a while, but I mean, even if he has, there is nerves in the playoffs. It is one of the most high stakes ranked match these players will ever play. Obviously, you could say that Priffin's season 3 finals matches, Hax's season 3 finals matches, maybe that was a little bit more high stakes just because it was the finals, but this gets you into the finals or into the next day, I guess, and almost gets you into the finals. So big stuff from both players. This blacksmith, however, not getting them everything they need. There's either going to be another blacksmith or we're going to have to see them killing the golem. But they have 6 obbies, so 20 obby basically fully guaranteed here. And food going to be pretty similar with both runners.
Interesting.
Priffin,
Priffin, I feel like scaring me here.
it is a little scary, but you stay on the edge of this, and this golem should never walk up. But, I mean, if the villager pushes him, or... I mean, that'd really be the only thing that could mess up. But it is, it does look scary, for sure. But Priffin making shears, Hax making shears as well. Both runners going to get blocks from the same tree. These plains villagers are very silly because there's never really, like, natural trees inside them, but, like, these structures will generate trees. Like, sometimes there's a tree in the middle of the village. Sometimes they're in those, like, pen areas or, like, off to the side. But it's, like, consistently one tree you will be able to steer in the village. And both the runners opting to do that, getting the blocks, and trying to find our lava pool in the desert. They both seen it as well. So, I mean, very similar paces again. I think Priffin's ahead maybe by like 2 seconds or something. If that. I mean, it's going to come down to portal building speed. And Hax building it on the right, Priffin building it on the left. But it's... Hax took the lead there on the micro, even though he messed up his water a little bit. Had the FNS pre-crafted, and I guess that matters. Oh my god, another treasure fashion nerdy. Look at this. Way shittier terrain to get there, but basically a repeat of last seed. Can Priffin redeem himself on a treasure route, redeem himself on the SSV treasure fashion? Very different terrain decisions, Ernie. This is a very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Priffin trying to run across the fort as it kind of gets you there, but it's looking like it was just completely the wrong play. Yeah, Priffin so like Hax on the bastion. Priffin's so far away. I don't know if Priffin misread like the connected terrain that Hax kind of found, but Hax uses his blocks down to only 9 leaves and is going to use them all to build up. But I mean, he had to farm more soul soil as well, but he's here so much faster.
Oh, wow, look at this.
And Priffin, look, this is another issue with Priffin as well, as Hax tries to deal with the basalt treasure here. Priffin's got to deal with these stray withers, stray blazes potentially, and this could have been a lot worse for Priffin. Handled the 3 wither skellies very well and has to handle the 4th one here, but if there were like more blazes on this, I could see this going way worse.
Getting some rods is good though. So you could argue that there's a little bit of like something nice going on here in that Priffin able to get some rods, kill some mobs, and then respawn them and get more strays when he comes back, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Does have 1 rod. I don't think it's worth the 30, 40 seconds maybe that he's slow on the bastion, but he does get 1 rod. Could have some weird plays I mean, I don't think you would ever want to like measure your eye off of the Bastion here. Unless like this Basalt means you get like 2 pigs. But I think they'll be good. Yeah, Priffin doing this safe TR's out. It's another treasure where they can get up on the side. Very, very similar thing. But Priffin manages to not die this time. Feels like different Bastion gen. Didn't know that. Again, something that Fulham can pick up. But I think it's just due to how the order chunks loaded and hardware stuff is just a vanilla Minecraft feature that I don't think can be patched out without fully changing how seed generation works. It's just something that happens. I guess definitely unlucky. But yeah, I mean, looking at the bottom of Hax's Bastion, I mean, definitely something for Fulham to pick up and look into for more detail.
For
I
sure.
said that like totally bad, but yeah, I mean, Hax was potentially in a little bit of a better Bastion situation there, but I mean, you know, irregardless, Hax in the Bastion so quick, out of the Bastion so quick, like definitely not what you want if you're Priffin and you're behind, but Hax just still, I think, made the better terrain decision on this scene and is carrying
Yep.
that lead into the fort.
Lots of good strays here for hacking noises as well. A good sign for him
Hax
for sure.
enjoyers,
Hopefully,
yeah. Oh, floats a blaze there.
yeah, I was gonna say. Hopefully he can manage to deal with this blaze. Unfortunately, was not fully able to, but oh my goodness. So many
Or good
blazes.
strays, but Priffin back in the fort. Made up some time, it seems like. Or just, you know, wasn't as behind on that terrain decision as I thought. And he is like I think one blaze kill up, which really shouldn't matter if the strays are good. I mean, Priffin getting very good strays though. Hack's on 5 rods, but Priffin's got 4 blazes on his screen right now. On 4 rods at least. Priffin on 5 rods. Not the 6 there. Hack's still killing blazes as well, so must be on 5 also. Maybe not. Maybe he's on 6 as well. Crafted 10 eyes, might have 1. Priffin needing 1 more rod. But I mean, it feels like Priffin's even this up a lot more than give him credit for, especially if the Bastion gen was not in his favor and, you know, taking that bad terrain call. I feel like it is closer than it would have initially seemed. But yeah, Hax is just going. I mean, low 7 stronghold potentially just has the 6th rod. He's able to start pulling the cords. But Priffin does it as well, so he's not that far behind. Nerdy. Only 10, 15 seconds maybe. Could easily come down to stronghold nav or 0. Or this terrain to cords as well. Hax going lower on the terrain. Priffin looks like he's attempting to go higher through the fort here. And Hax found some really nice terrain here. If Priffin doesn't find this, which it doesn't look like he's going to, he's got not enough time to, you know, like, there's only so much time left in the seed to catch up, right? Like Hax, if he nabs this perfectly and hits the 0, it's already over, regardless of what
Right.
Priffin does. But Hax struggling with nav again. He's getting the spike directions, but just not maybe the fully correct direction, or not, you know, fighting through the stronghold where it's supposed to take him. And
All giving
Priffin, yeah,
Yep,
he
here
finds
he
that
is.
terrain that Hax found, and he's down here. And Hax has to figure out where this portal room is. There it is. Back navs into it. So Priffin going to be in the stronghold, but if Hax hits the 0, oh, 3 bed, 3 anchor. Okay.
We have
He
4 bed,
crafted
4 anchor?
he crafted 4 anchors, but it's 3 because he has 3 glowstone.
Oh.
And he does have 4 beds. So maybe pre-crafted a blaze bed and didn't use it. That makes sense. So 8 explosives, a lot better, or 7 explosive, I guess. Back 94, tough 0.
You gonna go?
Doesn't get
Oh,
there.
he messes it up.
That's very hard on half a heart. Priffin misses a pearl as well. Can't 0 entirely now. Not possible unless he goes for a lower setup, which he might, Nerdy.
Do we have?
But no, not coming into the lower setup. Both the runners now waiting.
Do neither of them have? No, they can make a bow. They're not
Do we
making
have
a bow.
arrows though?
They have arrow. They have some arrows.
Oh, Hax has 8 arrows, I
8
guess.
and 22.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, like if you don't start the half bow insta, it is
Okay.
sometimes arguably worse.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
not for
sense.
Griffin.
It's just scaring me. I like the consistency in general, but I think it makes sense because you don't want to allow for early purchase, I suppose.
Yeah,
Oh, and
but
now,
but
now
you could do something like this though, where if the dragon's already coming over to fireball, you might as well shoot 1 crystal while it's there, right? Might as well barely
right.
increase your odds if it's already going to come over to fireball. If you know how the dragon works at such a fundamental, such a deep level,
I like that. I like
can
that.
can read, exactly when the fireball is going to happen. And this might be approach for Hax. No, around the back node, no snap. Is it there though? Is it there? There it is. The snap for Hax. First in the end. Gonna win the perch
Wow.
race. Love to see it. And yeah, I mean, dude gave it his all going for back 94. That was very close, but unfortunately didn't get to see Priffin.
Oh, he misses up.
Should be fine.
Should
Should
be
be
okay.
axable. Should be axable. Could die to the fire though, Nerdy. Eats the bread. He's
He's
fine.
okay.
Doesn't stop running away. Wow.
Closer than it needed to be.
Wow.
Closer than it needed to be.
I preemptively look away. And then disaster almost strikes, but Hax clutches the second seed out. And yeah, I mean, let's look at these splits. Okay, this is a little whack because Priffin
Right.
went through the fort, so this unfortunately is what it is. We're not smart enough to fix this problem. Because
I don't know if there is a
think
way to
it's-
fix.
I
to
don't know
explain
if
this with
it's
splits.
I don't know if it's fixable. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Priffin did make up some time, and I mean, if you look at the Finding Stronghold split compared to the Enter Bastion, right? Priffin entering the Bastion much slower and making up that time. I mean, it does have 1 rod, so that maybe that's a little bit on the on those 20 seconds. And honestly, Nerdy, I wonder if Priffin should force portal in the Bastion to just like create some variance in the seed. If maybe you don't think you can make up that 30-40 seconds, because Priffin, I feel like, knew that he was behind. If you look at the splits, the Hax is in the Bastion like 40 seconds out of you, and like, yes, you have a
Right.
rod, but you're behind. Maybe you blinded the Bastion. Try to give yourself a different stronghold. Try to give yourself different terrain. Try to just, I mean, I guess you can overlap it a little bit with the trades. It's pretty ugly doing that in a Bastion as well. Like, I mean, the eye measuring split is so fast, it almost doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what Fulham has cooked up for us, and looks like he's ready. So we're going to throw it over to our first of many Fulham mid-match analysis. As a reminder, breaking down things that we missed in the seeds, breaking down what these runners have to do to potentially win, what Priffin's got to do to not get 3-0'd. And we're going to get these analyses? That's probably a word, after every seed 2, and if we get to seed 4s, get to seed 5s, I guess I should say, after every seed 4 in seeds, if we have to get a seed 5. So at least 4 times today, potentially up to 8. Would love to see a lot of best of 5s, but we're going to throw it over to Fulham. I've done enough yapping. See if we can break down what we missed for us.
Hello, everyone. I hope we are all doing well. Welcome. A little bit of echo there. I can only apologize. Welcome back to Ranked. I hope you guys have been enjoying. It has been 2 seeds so far, and we see Hacking Noises up 2-0. This is has been a good match so far. A rematch of our season 3 finale. And although there's nothing insane to go over in these first 2 seeds, we're just going to go over the main parts. And specifically, let's talk about this very first part that we had to see here. We did see a Priffin death. And we're going to notice there are some pigs all around this bastion. We're going to see a lot of pigs. And of course, because he's using the I think it's an altered boomer route that allows us to dig through the side of the bastion to, instead of going up the side of the terrain as we usually see, and continuing up these stairs, which many runners continue to do, we instead decide to dig through the wall and use the left side rampart. Because of the iron axe, because of the lack of iron axe, Priffin wasn't able to break the chest that he normally does, because he's only got a stone axe in this speedrun. You know, very used to playing RSG. Priffin, very used to having full iron tools from Buried Treasures. Again, another reason why I think Hacking Noises would have banned Buried Treasures in this seed is because of how prolific Priffin is at the pure RSG, completely, almost always using Buried Treasures. However, let's continue this. Is able to break the blocks behind him, has one piglin on this staircase. Unfortunately, it spawns with a sword, which does cause him to lose 2.5 health, leaving it on just 4 hearts. Runs up these stairs, and notice that the terrain in this bastion does not generate with a block in this spot. Usually we do have this block. Occasionally, this block does not spawn in, and sadly, this allows a perfect staircase for our piglins to jump up, and has the option for piglins to now be above where we usually call a complete safe zone. And we can see that as Priffin does block it off, takes another sword pit from 2.5 hearts. This is pretty unfortunate. That's 2 back-to-back piglins that happen to spawn with a sword. And in this location, he's able to right-click this pig, giving him a piece of gold and distracting him for long enough. But as he walks up these stairs, you can see in the distance a skeleton ready to shoot. And that is sadly what does happen. Skeleton does not miss. First shot, Jiggle peeks the corner and is able to get the kill on Priffin. And unfortunately, that does put him right back at the start. And you can see Priffin decides to have the option between respawning and resetting. He doesn't snap choose reset world. Now, instantly, he spawns his cursor on respawn, goes down to reset, and then moves back to respawn, and then eventually chooses to reset the world. I think that this was a decision that he couldn't come to in the complete moment, because I think it's quite close. I think had there have been extra blocks, mayhaps he threw out a stack of blocks while he traveled from the temple to the to the lava pool. Maybe he threw out like 25 chiseled sandstone. That would be really helpful for him to be able to get back to his death spot. But if he wasn't able to do that, that means it's more likely that he's thrown out those blocks in other situations which aren't easy to get to, meaning that the reset makes a lot more sense. And I think it's pretty close. And I think that was a decision choice that he made in the moment, and I don't think it was incorrect, but it was a very difficult seed to come back from. As we see, Hax does take a very clean 0 cycle during this first seed. Also uses the crossbow. Unfortunately, the crossbow doesn't quite work exactly how he wishes. Now, the reason we shoot this crossbow is to reset the dragon's invincibility after it takes a certain amount of damage. So if you detonate 2 beds back to back, usually the dragon doesn't take damage, but while you crossbow it beforehand, it's that damage window is slightly altered. Unfortunately, this isn't the case in this one, as he does explode 2 beds, but it doesn't deal any extra damage to the dragon. Fortunately, Hax has 2 spare beds in his inventory and has a bunch of time. Does have to detonate this last bed early because of the knockback, but is able to do that very, very comfortably and takes home a very easy 6-bed 0 cycle. And yeah, takes home seed number 1 with very, very little resistance. And you can hear the little nice dude at the end. He was pretty happy with how he's played that. But let's notice here, I know that the commentators were discussing the difference in terrain generation, and I am no expert on this, and I don't want to claim that I am. However, do notice that even though Priffin's Bastion was slightly worse than Hax's, as we can see, this is an example of Hax's Bastion Bridge down here, there is still lava spots, and there is still basalt generation. It just isn't quite as bad. Now, the basalt generation previously for Priffin had a lot more blocks here, and as far as I know, that is kind of just a hardware thing, but this does allow Hax to get more piglins from the underside of the bastion, and also gets both gold blocks here, which Priffin wasn't able to do. He was only able to get the one on the left-hand side, only able to get this one here. This meant that Priffin traded less gold, and he also was able to make golden carrots in the run rather than going for bread from the overworld. So Priffin actually traded less, but was able to make up a lot of time on this Bastion, which is something that I think many people weren't expecting. Priffin was quite far behind going into the Bastion due to the terrain decisions, but even with a scuffed Bastion, Priffin was able to really do well and make up a lot of the time that he lost prior in this seed. Although I think that Hax was slightly too far ahead and was able to, even though we did see both runners attempt the zero cycle, or at least try to go for it, Hax did try and push this really tall back tower, but didn't quite get there. Logically and smartly was able to pearl down. He was looking in his inventory here, potentially for a different way out, but didn't find one apart from the boat, which is always the final resort. It's the last resort option. You don't want to have to try and boat clutch here. Instead, notice that he does have a lava bucket. Not going to be helpful in this situation. But with 3 hearts left, he's able to instead just use an ender pearl, which is what he does and survives with a lot of food, able to completely regenerate all that health before the 1 cycle has to come. Although he did kind of make it close. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Priffin, unfortunately, doesn't throw the best pearls, I believe, after this, and doesn't quite know, I believe, if this was a 1 in 8 dragon, does look towards that middle tower, potentially pearling up there, and then decides completely to avoid it. Hax now gets the 1 cycle perch earlier. He was in the end earlier, so it is kind of expected. Also, had a really heads-up play as the commentators picked up, as we could tell that the dragon was in a fireball phase. Destroyed one of the crystals, slightly increasing his odds of a perch on the next phase, which I think was really, really clever. A very heads-up play. However, we see once he's out of his 3 beds here, he has to use anchors. Switches to his 3rd slot for the anchors, but places 2 rather than placing the glowstone. Now, this is a problem, but it wasn't the end of the world. Except, interestingly, he decides to go for the outside anchor rather than the one that's directly under the dragon. Maybe this is because he's thinking about hitboxes. He may not be able to charge that anchor quite as effectively. But this does deal him a substantial amount of damage afterwards and sets him on fire as well. No fire resistance, and he's slowly ticking away on health, is able to kill the dragon, and has to eat this bread to regen right at the end. It was a little bit close for comfort, but Hax was able to clear out this fire and eat enough, had substantial amounts of food, so was able to survive and win this 2nd seed. Priffin, to come back, needs to win 3 seeds on the bounce, and we have seen Priffin beat Hax in previous tournaments. Of course, this is a rematch of our Season 3 finale, where Priffin was able to take 4 of the 5 played seeds. Can he do the same thing today? Can he take 3 of the 5 played seeds by running it back and getting 3 in a row? Hax is 1 victory away, and Hax has been playing very clean, very safe, very well, but Priffin is able to make this comeback. If this does go to a seed 5, if Priffin's able to win the next 2, I will come back for a final analysis. If not, I will see you on the next match. Thank you, chat, and I will pass you guys back to Nerdy and Feinberg.
Thank you, Fulham, as always. And Nerdy, I don't think Priffin can do it. I don't know if you agree with me. I don't know if you disagree with me. I don't think Priffin can win 3 in a row. Partially because I think Hax is playing very well both these seeds. I think Priffin, died in seed 1, and I think in seed 2, made back some time in the Bastion, but 2 crucial decisions in the seed. Terrain to the Bastion, terrain to 2nd portal. Both lost maybe 30 seconds a minute total, just two completely wrong decisions there. And even if Priffin turns it on, Nerdy, Hax gets to pick seed 4 and 5 if Priffin were to get to a seed 5. And those are both seeds that refreshes the overworld pool. Hax gets to pick what Priffin banned potentially, gets to pick something that he won on that he's more comfortable on potentially. I just think it's so stacked against him. I don't think it's possible. But he did win season 3 playoffs. I
think 3-0. Does Hax go 3-0? That's. I think maybe that's that. There's another question.
It's possible. We can throw it over the seed selection just to see. We are playing a shipwreck just to show the last overworld type. And again, if Priffin wins, we do go to a seed 4. The loser of the previous seed gets to pick the next seed. So Hax would get to pick our seed 4. And Hax would get to pick between any of the 5 overworld types. We've used all 5, we've banned 2, we've played 3, so it refreshes the overworlds available, and so Hax can pick anything. So he could pick Rune Portal, could pick Desert Temple or Village. I mean, both the overworlds we've seen today, the runners have been in the overworld within 2 seconds of each other. 3 seconds maybe. And they were tied on the Desert Temple one, maybe 3 seconds on the Village, if that. I just think
on today.
I think
I'll
it's
be honest.
I think it's so stacked against Priffin. I think if Priffin, I don't even know, man. I mean, you were saying, right? Like Hax, if he plays on, he's potentially faster. But if he is inconsistent, that is where Priffin maybe takes it. And Priffin did win the best of 7 in the season 3 finals against Hax, but hasn't been that consistency here so far today. And Priffin's got to win 3 in a row. So Hax either has to start messing up, or Priffin's got to turn on the Jets somehow. I don't think it's possible. But I mean, I've thought a lot of comebacks have not been possible in the brackets in the first 3 seasons, and we've seen some crazy stuff, Nerdy. So
yeah, I think
You-
if
maybe you don't
Priffin, okay, so if Priffin wins the next 2, then I feel like that's gonna be the 2 hard games. You have to think, one game at a time, and
Yeah.
winning this game is probably gonna be the hardest because he's lost 2 and the pressure's on, and et cetera, et cetera. Winning the next game, I think will be easier if he has won a single game. And then if he's won 2 in a row, then I feel like winning 3 in a row isn't crazy. But I feel like it's really, to me, it's really about this game here. This match here, I think, this next round, this seed will be very, very, I mean, obviously important because if he loses, he's out. But also, if he wants to start winning, I feel like this seed could give him some confidence to get the momentum going. We'll have to see, though. We will have to see.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, I feel like if you're going to a game 5, it's better for the momentum and the mental to have lost the first 2 and then win the next 2. So
Exactly,
you've
that's
won
what I'm
2 in a
trying to
row
say,
on the way.
yeah.
But the problem is it way harder to win seed 3 being down 0-2 than opposed to like trading seeds back and forth, like win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, then you're on seed 5, right? Like, I don't know. If you're just at seed 5 and asking in that situation if it's better or not, then yeah, I think for sure you want to win 2 seeds in a row to get to seed 5. But can you even get there? Notable difference since overall 2, Nerdy. It is a shipwreck, but there was a Rune Portal cameo, I guess. Not good for Priffin. Banned the Rune Portal, but Hax picked it up. Has a gold helmet, has 1 obsidian, has a fire charge. A lot of things that, probably aren't going to matter at all, but could. Maybe
He got that looting sword, though.
maybe there's no flint in the entire seed. Like you don't know. But Priffin gonna go down to this Rune Portal as well on the way to the ravine. So doesn't actually matter. And an interesting thing about this is Priffin looting this Rune Portal second actually lets him grab the gold block. So what looked like a better decision from Hax actually turns out to be potentially a better decision from Priffin. A little bit behind here on the overworld speed, maybe 5-10 seconds, but doesn't have a gold block.
Interesting.
And I feel like that's pretty impactful in certain seeds.
Yeah.
9
No,
extra
for sure it
trades
is.
on the Bastion for Hax. Priffin obviously will be in the same
Housing.
situation. Manhunt housing. I mean, if it's manhunt housing, you're not getting the backup blocks. I mean, I think it is just the right play to grab the backups. But 13 gold blocks versus 12 could get some important trades on the last block. Yep, Hax heading up here. Glowstone
Weird with
Bastion.
that glowstone.
Yep. Similar situation where Priffin, the pig, they have like a bridge here. Yeah, have to sort of like dig out a good way for them to fall down here and be a little careful. And the food situation, not amazing. I think they're both on flesh only from the shipwreck. So taking damage here, going to be pretty impactful because the healing time is just so slow in the flash.
4 hearts down for Priffin, I will point out.
Yeah,
That
and
is
I mean,
not good.
you should have time in this Bastion. There is 1 sus stew as well, and rank guarantees that that's not poison, so it can't be a negative, and it is the same for both players. So, I mean, it could be a saturation stew, could be just the most insane food source ever, but even if it's just something, default, like blindness, well, I guess that would be bad, but like, weakness. What even else can you get? Blindness, weakness, night vision, saturation, and then there's no poison. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm just yapping. Both these runners making very similar plays. Missed if they pyrate or not, so potentially saw the fort. Oh, there's jump boost. Jump boost, jump boost. It is a night vision. So you get a little extra vision in the fog here, but it doesn't really matter. Griffin leaving the Bastion first. Looks like he might be trying to pearl up to the top of the housing, though. Trying to find some terrain, potentially trying to look for that fort. Get those top chests. Gets a pearl up there on the side. Is Hax going to do the same thing? Just a pearl out. Is he going to pearl in? Nope. Hax is just leaving, so Priffin needs something up here that Hax doesn't. Not sure exactly what, but Hax going to be pyring for this fort. Not entirely visible here. And Priffin up. I'm not sure if it's a difference in obby, potentially, because Hax does, he's playing like he has 20. You know, just heading to the fort, no pearling, so not sure what Priffin needed up there, but Hax struggled a bit finding this fort, so I think it's pretty similar pace as Still Nerdy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh! The gravel slip from Hax. Terrain caves out under him. And these runners are going to be getting this fort at around the exact same time. But look at this round flesh difference. Priffin on 3 hearts can't pearl up to this fort. Pretty close building in, so it really doesn't matter. But, I mean, these runners entering the fort at the exact same time. Hax eating the stew now. Priffin on a heart and a half. Can't aggressively pearl at all. Not like you would need to here. Like maybe Hax pearls up to the spawner though. No, just gonna run as well. It's too close. And a very, very, very close situation in this seed. I mean,
Yeah, just
it's
like
like
seconds
Priffin.
away.
Yeah, Priffin heading over to this other spawner. And Hax starting this blaze bed early. I don't entirely understand how two spawners works in ranked. Like if because spawners are standardized, but I don't know if it's like just the same spawn cycles the entire time, like regardless of what spawner you're at, or if it like
Yeah,
is
true.
potentially
Good
very
question.
different. So it could be some variance potentially between Priffin and Hax. They are just straight up at different spawners right now, I feel like. Priffin playing 2, Hax just sitting on 1, and should be at both the same strongholds here. Only 1400 for Hax, so it should be pointing at the same stronghold. Oh, 800 for Hax, so yeah, should be very close here, but the blaze spawn differential is something that could be very important.
Looks
Oh my
like
god, Priffin needs wood potentially?
maybe
Has to go so far out of his
able to get
way.
some food?
Ocean blind? Yeah, ocean blind. No, I think he just needs wood. Doesn't want to get a library. Has to throw a second eye as well. Priffin losing a lot of time here to throwing 2 eyes, having to get wood in an ocean blind, and Hax at a different spawner. I don't know if Hax even needed to get wood. But if he did, he was just in a plains. So
Wow.
people in chat saying Hax needs wood as well. Did he grab the wood? No, he's got 2 planks, Nerdy.
Ooh.
Hax has no wood. This
gonna
is
be-
something that, yeah, interesting. So, I mean, Priffin losing a lot of time, but if Hax doesn't make the play to get the wood, could be totally over. I mean, this just happened very, very occasionally on like shipwreck seeds or really bad BT overworld like island seeds where there's just like 1 tree.
Right. No, it's interesting.
And
We'll have to see
Hax
how
has
feels with this.
he has no wood. And if you're committed to the stronghold and you left the trees in the overworld, you're not getting wood here. Like in a library. There's just no way. Or in like a 4-way. I think he's not getting wood. And I think he's gotta hope that it's not zeroable. Oh, is he looking for it?
Now he's
Yeah, I
looking
guess
for it.
he knows now. Definitely knows now because trying to, pre-craft for 0 realizes, holy shit, I don't have wood.
Big mistake here.
Let's look for a library, a 4-way, but look at this Priffin catching up, and this nav was not that hard. No wood still for Hacks. No wood.
And this
Library. But he's so far away from Portal Room, needs to mine this wood. Priffin gets the nav, he'll be there. Gets through that left 4-way, and that's the right way. There's no other way to go. He'll just have the Portal Room. And I mean, he has to Hunger Reset, but this is not going to take that much time. His stuff's already fully pre-crafted. Priffin hits the 0, he wins the seed. He's back in it.
oh, and Hax is about to die.
There we go. Priffin in the end first.
Is it zeroable?
Cage 57. Could be. Is that back? It is. It's Cage, though. Might have to go to 90 and could fly. Which would be good for Hacks. But no. Not flying.
Wow.
Griffin's got food to live through the 0. Has the explosives. And Nerdy, it looks like Priffin is going to stay alive.
Wow.
He clutches it off of remembering the wood. That's all it is.
Yep.
Just
big
one
misplay from Hax.
one mistake, one mental misplay from Hacks, and that's it. Priffin's going to take the seed. All these seeds feel like they're just coming down to one decision.
Yep.
And that's all it was.
Yep,
Hacks
one
spawns
mistake,
in the
one
overworld
decision.
on the trees and doesn't grab him. That's all it is. 37 seconds faster into the stronghold, hits the instant nav, but needs to find the library. Nerdy loses a minute to grabbing wood in the stronghold versus the 5 seconds it would have taken to chop a tree down. And that's all it takes. But Nerdy,
Wow.
Hacks gets to pick one of 5 seeds, any overworld type he wants for seed 4. And he's got another seed as a buffer as well. Again, I don't think you want it to go to a seed 5 where you have lost 2 seeds in a row. Like if you're Hacks, you have to win seed 5, one mistake in seed 3, potentially one mistake in seed 4. Like that's not good for the mental. But he's got another
Yeah.
seed. And he's picking Village. A seed that he won on, not picking the Rune Portal ban. Interesting. What do you think, Nerdy? He's able to pick any of the 5 overworlds. Why do you think he picks Village?
I mean, he won on Village, and I feel like he won not because of a death. Maybe is the mindset. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because Village there's like guaranteed to be a lot of wood. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but you know, maybe he's just feeling comfortable. I was expecting him to pick RP for sure, but you know, Village is not a bad pick at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like maybe he thinks he plays a Village better. I mean, he was only in the overworld a couple seconds faster, and the food situation is going to be very similar. Obviously, there's I guess a little more variance, right? Like you pick up carrots, you pick up bread. Who knows? But it's I guess maybe surprising he's not picking the Rune Portal, but it gives less variance in the overworlds. Like Hacks just could pull ahead on the 0 or on the overworld and Village, and doesn't have that potential as much in the Rune Portal, right? Some of these Rune Portal seeds, you're in the Nether in 30 seconds. There's no decisions at all. So Hacks may be thinking he's just playing better across the board, and I mean he would have won seed 3 if he grabs that wood, right? Just one big mistake, and I mean you could definitely say the same thing about Priffin for seeds 1 and 2, right? Like a lot of these seeds, both these runners have been playing really well, just coming down to 1 or 2 decisions that are like minute mistakes, couple minute mistakes. Like
Yep.
Priffin dies, 3 minutes, it's over. Hacks forgets wood, 1 minute, it's over. Priffin makes a wrong decision for terrain, seed 2, 45 seconds, and it's over. So, yeah, I mean, interesting, Nerdy. Desert Village. First Desert Village I feel like we've seen all playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of a weird thing because you need the wood, right? So it's like it's kind of you need a weird scenario to happen here, and like this seed obviously does work out because you have that taiga there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely kind of a weird type of seed that needs to work for it
You have to
to
dig
be
down for the
playable.
cobble as well. Yeah, just interesting seed. Just an interesting seed. But both these runners doing basically the exact same thing. And you're in a desert, should be able to find the lava pool as well. So not not going to be potentially too much decisions to be made. Hack spotting this gravel early, and Priffin working the shears. Golem will always drop 4, and you have 5 iron from the blacksmith, so you can make shears and know that you will have enough iron. Is Hax going to make the shears? Is he going to commit to the wood that he has? No shear play from Hax. So significantly less blocks heading into the nether. And he's ahead on the gravel play, and that's about it. Both runners killing the golem at about the same time. Blocks for Priffin, gravel for Hax.
And
There's the shears back for
Nice.
Hax. Going to cut back to the trees, and it looks like there's a taiga tree on fire in the taiga. So that's the lava pool spotted for Hax, and this could be bad for Priffin Nerdy if he doesn't see it. Has no fire. Getting the gravel here, but if he commits to the desert here, this is potentially very bad for Priffin enjoyers. There should be 2 lava pools in every overworld within, I think, 12 chunks of the village. But Priffin can't find it. It's not in the desert. And Hax has his tree burn in the overworld and is ahead by a very significant amount here going into the nether. Priffin finds a lava pool. It is far, though, so it's playable, but he's got time to make up. But maybe there's a
Not
looting
good.
3 sword. Maybe there's a looting 3 sword in this room, Portal Nerdy. Maybe all
surely,
the time will be made up. I mean, it would
I
be
believe.
this would be crazy. Does he know where it is? It should be 2 extended out here from the side. It should be 2 extended behind him. He can't find it.
Oh, he's giving
You
up.
have no idea. Doesn't know his chest room portal generation.
Well, and that's just time loss
So-
right there.
It is just raw time loss. Wasn't able to find it. And Hack's in the bastion already, Nody. Looks like this is a housing, going to be very fast, top down. No zombie pigs in the way for Hacks. And we have no idea, Nerdy, if that was looting 3 or not. We won't know. Because there's no way Hacks is going to go back and check it.
We can be like 99% sure it's not, I think. Or
It's
whatever,
not?
right?
That's true, but the 1%.
Yeah, true.
Never know.
Good point. Good point.
You never know.
I don't even know though. How much would the looting sword even have helped though? I feel like he's lost.
If the
so much
rates are
time at this
bad, they
point.
could help a lot. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah.
obviously it's better to have the looting 3 than to not. Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah. It's
100%.
just like he's
The
already so far
spawner's
behind.
slow. The
It's
strays are bad. Yeah, I mean, he's got a pearl though, Nerdy. It's gonna potentially give him a little bit of time save. It was good that Enderman dropped. So he's able to pearl to the bastion on the housing instantly. So honestly, made up a good amount of time from that play.
nice. Excellent play. And now Hax is
Hax just-
trading. You know,
I mean, yeah, still ahead though.
got 3 crossbows.
I mean, you axe the chest on the top, and something you just pick up whatever. Don't think he meant to loot those, but lavaing these pigs, get them out of the way. Should have 20 obsidian here, has 12 before checking the trades. Can always grab some backups as well. $14 obsidian, not amazing. I think he's purling towards the fort as well. I don't think he's committing to a home portal purling. He's on 16 obby. You're not going to get 20 here. 18. I think he's going to check the manhunt chest here for some obsidian. It looks like he is, yeah.
Well, this won't load as pearl. I don't think it should, but something to be aware of when throwing a pearl and running in that direction. For
Yeah.
pearl hang.
No obby.
No obby.
Still on
It's stuck
18.
here. This is some time loss right here. One more chest, maybe.
Finds it.
Oh,
Wow.
he gets it.
Third outside chest. That's a big play. If Priffin can't find that, big play from Hacks,
True.
forcing
Yeah,
the
that could
outside
be
chest.
that could legitimately be game over if Griffin doesn't find that.
Yeah, not only in the forward
Um,
faster, obviously Griffin's still trading much slower overworld, but I mean has the 20. And again, if you're new or don't know how rank works, all the trades, all the rates for everything are standardized. So Griffin's going to need to find that chest if he wants 20 obsidian. And he's going outside. He's looking for them as well. There's some markings on the wall, so he should know where 3 chests are here, so it should be fine. Gonna force that chest. He's gonna find it. There it is. 19 obsidian, though. He didn't trade out all of the gold. Look at this. He's got to trade some just stray gold here. Maybe the piglins are throwing the obby in the lava or something. So leaves early off the gold and still doesn't have 20. Hacks got 2 obsidian on the very last trade cycle. So Priven should get this here, but it's just more time lost. Leaving slightly early, gonna fully punish him.
Yep.
Oh, triggers that pro hang. Does he have 20? Did he pick one up? He must have. There's no way, right?
I don't know.
Must have picked it up in the hole. I feel like he has 19, and I feel like he didn't wait. But I mean, must have 20.
It's possibly.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
picked it
fine.
up in the hole. Yeah. Just obviously something we missed, you know. Because obviously Priven's gonna know when he opens his inventory and know where to look, and we don't, and we're looking at 2 screens as well. So it's just
Yeah.
we're never gonna be able to
That's
catch
our
everything.
cope, chat. That's our cope.
Yeah. Double blaze bed from Priffin, 2 village beds.
Oh, Hacks loses some time though. Pearl doesn't trigger. Not a big deal. Couple of seconds, but hey, those seconds are mattering in this match.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Hack's just very ahead here. Needs 2 more rods to go. He's got 0 pre-crafted.
I mean, Griffin does have 4 rods, you know?
Yeah, I mean, making it back
Hasn't measured, of
definitely,
course, but-
yeah, definitely a little behind, obviously, because he hasn't measured, and Hax is getting these spawns, and Hax's blind was 500, and I think they're at different spawners here, so potentially a little
Ooh,
better
interesting.
portal terrain travel for Hax, but look, he's already going nerdy, so Griffin making up some time for sure, definitely not as behind as I think it would seem off the overworld, but Hax is there, and he has wood this time, nerdy. And he's got a lot of time to burn either way. So it's not looking good for Priffin or Priffin enjoyers.
And
First
will
chance in the
Hacks
bracket.
get his redemption arc here. This could be the redemption arc from last season, having lost in the finals to Priffin.
100%. There's that spike mid left. It's a mine shaft though. A little weird potentially with a cave spider spawner all over the place. But he likes that spike. There it is.
He finds
In the
it.
portal room, has everything pre-crafted, has food. Open. Front dragon. 94. Should be able to get the 99 with ease. That was a great pearl. He's at 99. An entire rotation to spare, nerdy. And Priffin's catching up, but I don't think it's going to matter. Hax has 8 beds and 2 anchors.
Wow.
It's just
Yeah.
going to be over. And nerdy
Looking
for the
great here.
4th season. Well, I guess we still have Loki. But there's only one player in the bracket, nerdy, that can save us to potentially have a repeat winner.
That's crazy. That is
But
crazy.
Griffin's out. No back-to-back. Still no back-to-back off of season 4. That's going to be it. Hax is going to take the 3-1, redeeming himself from the season 3 finals. Sending Priffin home. Hax is going to move on to tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, a minute on the Nether enter, and that's just it. I mean, I think Hax a little ahead on that end, right? Priffin not in the end by the time Hax wins, so that's about a minute, you know, having to get that 0 cycle down, you know, maybe 50 seconds. So I think Hax is maybe still winning if he doesn't find that lava pool in the Taiga, but would have been much closer, would have been a much closer match, but sometimes that is how it goes. There's some RNG in the game. Hax finds that lava pool in the overworld. Griffin doesn't. And that's just how it goes. But Hack's playing more consistent Nerdy throughout the entire best of 5, winning 3-1. Let's look at our bracket. Let's see where Hack's going to end up tomorrow. Playing the winner of Monji versus Ango Boy.
That's
And
coming up
Nerdy-
next, folks.
Dougal has lost to the playoffs winner in every playoffs. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
is Anko Boy going to be scared of Monji? Is Hax going to be scared of Monji? Does he have plot armor, perhaps? New PC?
For chance,
16
for
seed?
chance.
I don't know.